Welcome to Tennis Takeaways with Lisa and Duey. We are in Season 2, Episode 2. My name is Duey Evans, and guess what? I just changed my title because I couldn't figure out what to call myself. So from now on, I am just a tennis evangelist here in Austin, Texas. And I am here with my partner in crime, Lisa Stone. Hey, Lisa.
Hey Dewey, I love that tennis evangelist. I that's perfect. That's perfect. Good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Stone, creator of Parenting Aces, and I am a tennis parent, a tennis consultant, a tennis broadcaster, a tennis writer. I don't know. Maybe I need to come up with something a little better too, Dewey. You've challenged me now.
I couldn't help it. You got to keep you on your toes a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in season
Well, so
two, and
this
we're
week,
all about innovation, right? And I think you found a friend of yours to come join us.
I absolutely did. And today we're going to be focusing on innovation in college recruiting because God knows we needed it. The recruiting process is a bit brutal, as anyone who's been through it can attest. And this week, our guest is Tarek Merchant of ImRecruitable, and Tarek is based in Florida. He and I met maybe a couple years ago through a mutual friend, and we've done some work together and are going to be doing more together over the coming months and hopefully coming years. But good morning, Tarek. Thanks so much for coming on. And we're excited to chat with you about what's happening at ImRecruitable.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
how
it.
are you? This is great to meet you because I've not been one who has really kept up with college recruiting, but I work at a tennis program which really has a philosophy of helping young people leverage their college choice through tennis. So at the Austin Tennis Academy here in Austin, Texas. So looking to learn about what you're doing and use it to help some young people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, recruiting has changed so much over the years, and it continues to change. And technology has a big part of it to do with it as well, just with the way we communicate and the way we connect with each other. So it's exciting, it's fun, it's always changing, but it's very daunting and can be challenging for both the parents and the athletes and the coaches, who are helping those kids develop their game and hopes to, get to the college level and maybe even beyond.
So we've talked a lot about the fact that college recruiting has been in a dead period with COVID-19. We don't know if the spring dual match season is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen this fall, other than we know in several conferences the fall championships have been canceled, and the ITA and UTR have partnered up to offer a series of events that are open to college players, juniors, and professionals and others that want to play based on UTR. These events are going to be offered in sites all across the U.S. The registration is open for those now on the UTR website. So given all of that, and given the fact that all of our big national championships this summer were canceled for junior players, and given that the big ITF events have been canceled for junior players, recruiting's had to really kind of innovate to stay relevant, right? I mean, we've had to figure stuff out as we go. Tarek, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your company, ImRecruitable, to adjust to this latest iteration of college recruiting?
Yeah, it's, of course, this pandemic has taken us on a big turn here, and it's unexpected, and we've been having to adjust the way we communicate, the way we run our businesses, the way recruiting works, and as you mentioned, even development in terms of getting to tournaments and so on. Some things had to just come to a complete halt, and there was a period of time, and now we're hopefully getting closer and closer to getting back to normal, but life is still challenging, the universities wise, tournaments wise. And, I guess my product came somewhat at the right time. I mean, ImRecruitable has been helping student athletes, get to the collegiate level for, over a decade. But I have invested more and more time over the last few years in refining my technology. So we're considered by many as the LinkedIn of college recruiting. And my goal has always been to connect people online. As I went through my process back in the early 2000s of sending a VHS videotape, to very quickly having things like YouTube and so on starting in, 2006 onward, I've watched how quickly people can connect, how much more the competition has grown because of the access to people from everywhere around the world, which means coaches now have the opportunity to, scout the best players. But, the whole idea of ImRecruitable is to connect athletes and college coaches in a more effective, productive, and cost-effective way so that athletes and coaches can find the best opportunities. And so really what that means is coaches build great teams and athletes find great teams to play for.
So when you say you're trying to be the LinkedIn of college recruiting, specifically, what does that look like from the student athlete side? And then maybe you can tell us from the coaching side.
Sure. So getting recruited there's different analogies that you can give to getting recruited because, this is not something that people are necessarily familiar with, right? Because it's something you do once and then you're done with it. It's not something you're going to spend a lot of time learning. It's not something you really want to learn because your end goal is to get recruited, and it's not always fun, right? That's just the reality of it. That's why parents are often way more interested in the recruitment than the child is. The kid really wants to just play their sport. And, when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, you're not interested in making business deals. But the reality is you have to do that. So, the way that it works is college coaches, just like LinkedIn, are putting up a profile and saying what they're looking for. The way a company is saying, hey, I'm looking to recruit, let's say 5 new people to join my company, and I'm looking for an HR person and a marketing person, and et cetera. And these are the requirements I have and the experience I need, et cetera. While people who are seeking jobs and looking for opportunities to join a company are also putting up their resume and saying what they're all about, showing their skill sets, their experience in various ways. And now you're able to match and find your opportunities. And really, ultimately, that concept of LinkedIn obviously works very well, right? They wouldn't be LinkedIn and one of the biggest, places where you go to for professionals to go to. And so we don't have that in college recruiting. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I use that parallel in what I do. And my innovative technology is working its way to offering those similar type of opportunities all the way through. So, we already have a great program that works and a technology and application, but we need to model it more like that because that is what gives athletes and coaches the opportunity. We are in this digital world. Yes, going to events is the same way of interviewing people or digging deeper, but how are you initially going to build, a list of potential, opportunities?
Okay, so can
Right.
you share with us a little bit about the technology? What is it that you do which allows someone to stand out as opposed to just, on their program website or something, having a profile and sending out links to it to college coaches? How is it the technology that you've developed? How does that differentiate from what other people are doing?
Yeah, no, you make a really good point there. So, our profile that we provide, you go through the steps just like a LinkedIn or just like any of the profile building applications that you have out there, but you have the opportunity to put in everything that a college coach would be looking to, evaluate to make their decisions. So starting off with a video, videos, you can upload as many videos as you want of your training, match play, whatever skill sets you have, you can throw up their highlights. you can then put in all your academics. And academics goes a lot further than people think when you're on websites like Tennis Recruiting and stuff. It's one thing to put a GPA in there, but it's another thing to upload your unofficial transcripts. College coaches need to walk that down to their admissions department and get that looked at. At many of schools, especially in the D3 market, where majority of kids will end up. So if that's a fun fact or stat, is that there's way more Division 3 programs than Division 1 or 2. So you're more likely to play Division 3 than you are Division 1 or 2. And the academic component is a huge component, even at the Division 1 and 2 level at many, many schools, because first you have to get into the college before you can even be considered a student athlete. So this academic portion where we allow people to upload transcripts, give the information, SATs, not only just telling the score, but actually uploading the PDF. This is something that when I, do talks or speaking at, online and webinars, I explain to a lot of families that giving not only the score, but having the report for it is so important. And most people don't even know where to download their SAT score from College Board. They've never even really seen that. They maybe got it in the mail. They don't realize how important it is to have those, supplement those documents in the admissions hands. And then you go into this key stats and you go into your contact information. And so if you're on our system, your profile is very much like a LinkedIn. You can put as much detail as you want, and you also are having to put in all the information coaches need to the fullest extent. Like I'm explaining some of those, portions. So, it's not just the numbers.
Is it something that coaches can query by certain statistics? So if they're looking for GPA or a test score, an SAT, an ACT type score, that they can then sort by those categories and look for the players that are there, and then have a secondary field that they're looking for, maybe a UTR or USTA ranking? Is it possible for coaches to kind of sift down at that level?
Absolutely. So the coaches have a very detailed filtering query system when they're in the search section of their platform. So when they're logged in, they can go as deep as they want. They can look at grad years. They can even go as far as fall or spring. And that's something that most people don't go as deep as, because I think it's very important if a college coach is looking for a player to come in January, that they know who's available January, because most of the time you just have the grad year. And then you can go as far as, specific stats, whether it's UTR, tennis recruiting, national, sectional rankings, divisional rankings. You can go with GPAs. Do they have a transcript on the system or not? Are they showing videos, not showing videos? So you can really, really filter out a search and then match that up against your recruiting needs to make sure that you are finding prospects that may fit your requirements.
One of the things I think is so cool is the fact that you can upload multiple videos. So not just match play video or practice session video, but maybe video of you playing an instrument or, painting or whatever your outside interests are, and show coaches that you're multidimensional. And I know that's not typically at the top of a college coach's list. I mean, they're looking for players that can help them win, but they're also looking for players that fit into their culture, their team culture. And, maybe they have a couple of musicians already on the team, and wow, it'd be fun to have a drummer join us, or whatever. I think
that's pretty good. We're going to lose our drummer this year, so we got to find someone that fits in to play in the band.
No, I see where Lisa's going. Here's where I can help you connect that is, if you're a college coach or whether you're a person employing someone for your company, you are first going to look at the skill set, right? But let's say that you have 20 people that have the skill set that you require. Now you're looking through those 20 people and you're trying to, dig deeper. So if you start seeing things like there are certain hobbies that they like or certain other skills that they have, you start deciding maybe this kid might be a better fit for my team and program, because yes, they do match up with some of the players on my team and I think they might get along and they could be better teammates. I think, again, it's exactly like hiring somebody for a job. You look beyond the skill set after you reach that first, you make that first check mark, right? So, even when college coaches talk to me and we talk about jobs and hiring other coaches and athletic directors, sure, they may be checking off the boxes, but once they do and they bring people in for an interview or they look deeper on their resume, they want to see some of the other skills that you have that could be useful for the school or the team.
Exactly.
How much does a service like this cost? So for somebody to get on your platform as an athlete, obviously there's a cost associated with, or there are revenues that have to be generated in order to make it work, right, from a business standpoint. So is this sponsor driven? Is it fee driven? How does somebody get involved?
Yeah. No, you make a good point. So, as you know, with technology, it's a few different models. You can be Facebook and you can have everything for free, but then you're selling ads, and people are buying stuff, or you go with the LinkedIn model where there's a freemium and then there's a premium, right? So we have that model of the free. So you can build an entire profile and you colleges, and you can get a great deal of information to start off with on the free model. And there may be some athletes out there that want to use it for free and they can get what they need out of it. And then the premium model is either a monthly subscription or a one-time lifetime fee. And it's so affordable, it becomes a no-brainer. Like, it's $29.99 a month, or you pay $99 for a lifetime fee right now. Our value is $299, but we've cut that down and offering it at $99 because I want to see athletes get on there and get the opportunities that they should have. And everyone's recruiting cycle is different. So everyone's opportunities will come at different times. When you get on at a cost of $99, I mean, that's less than, that's like playing 1.5 tournaments or maybe 2 tournaments, sometimes less if you're playing national. So to use that and say I have all those tools and potentially could, get scholarships or an opportunity to get recruited, I think that's becomes priceless then. So it's the most cost-effective way to make it work.
How young do players generally get on and set up profiles? Is the kind of thing that, coaches are looking several years down the road, and so an 8th grader is uploading their initial profile and upgrading it over time so that coaches can see where the player's developing as they see the videos change over time?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I encourage athletes to get on 8th and 9th grade because, like you said, that's when they should be going on. They're getting more serious, whether you're super serious or not. You have an online presence, right? And you're building that profile over time. And coaches are scouting players as early as that time. And it depends on the school and all that stuff, but you can get scouted as early as then. So you want to be on radars. But the reality is that a lot of players are coming in anywhere from 10th grade, 11th grade, some even seniors who are late to the game. So really the ideal timing is 8th, 9th grade. But the reality is that, 10th, 11th grade is when kids are coming on. I just wish that they would do it earlier because it's going to help them and it's really no extra cost. That's why that $99 lifetime is so useful for somebody. Because I actually want to incentivize athletes and parents to start early because I know that it will give them more opportunities. So that's my way to push them. And it's a bit of a loss to me, but I'm in this business to help people first and foremost. I'm not trying to, be the next billionaire.
But the other side of that lifetime fee is, unfortunately, transferring is a reality in college tennis. And so your profile stays up there even, once you get into college, if things don't work out as you had hoped or planned because of whatever factors. And first and foremost right now is programs actually getting cut. So there's a lot more transferring happening. Your profile's still up there and can help you if you have to, God forbid, go into that transfer portal. Yeah,
so like during COVID, so whether I've had players that have had a profile, and we have the option. So, you have to, once you commit to the school, you have the opportunity to press the commitment button, which is a lot of fun because you press that, you get to select your school, feels good. You get your little, school stamp on there. People can still technically, coaches could see that if they wanted to go to the committed athletes, they can see all those players that have committed. But like you said, is if you decide to transfer, all it is changing the commitment to recruitable again, your status. And if you are in COVID situation now, we had a number of athletes that committed to certain schools, and then because of COVID, this program got cut or whatever happened, and they couldn't offer them the same deal. So it was as simple for them as changing their status back to recruitable, and now they're back into the job market, basically the recruitment market.
Can I ask you?
Side,
sorry, Lisa. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, from the coaching side, how does that work? Do coaches pay a fee also to have access to the profiles?
No, forever free for coaches. And if people want to know the reason for that, is because we want all the coaches on the platform. I don't want to limit any coaches and programs based on budgets or other reasons. So in order for athletes to get the most opportunities is to have all the colleges on. Yeah. And now it's a win-win situation.
Yeah. Can I ask, and I don't know, so I'm really asking a question without any kind of question I shouldn't ask, because I should know the answer to some degree. But the big thing is showcases in the world of tennis, right? Kids going to showcases, but showcases aren't happening. And I'm getting lots of emails from showcases. I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, and so she signed up for some things a long time ago, and I'm continuing to get those emails. How does your service interact with showcases, or do you have showcases of your own, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I was running a tennis showcase for 9 years, but I decided now that I want to rather partner with some of these events and be the technology and be the, per se, again, the LinkedIn for the recruiting side. And so, I believe that showcases are great opportunities. I think that, one thing that I've always preached is you have to do everything in the recruitment process. You don't have to pick and choose. So if you want to break it down, there's really 3 ways that people get connected. They're online with an online profile and platform, and there's several in the sport of tennis. You have a company like mine that can support you and give you a lot more in-depth, detailed stuff, but you're obviously got a profile on Tennis Recruiting and UTR because those are your ranking and rating sites. But you also need more information, and able to connect with coaches better, which you could do with ImRecruitable. And then you need to be in person, and you need to attend showcases or exposure camps and be in front of these coaches and have face-to-face relationships when you can. And these, different opportunities are necessary. And, I believe that there's a good correlation between doing everything,
Now, are you also a consultancy? Do you offer a consultancy to players who are looking for more information and some guidance through this process?
Yeah, so, I used to I would consult a lot, especially when I started out, and quickly built up a good name. Especially, I think consultancy is about having the knowledge and the relationships and understanding the business. So players do have the option to get consultancy. The thing that I stay away from now is the more the advocacy and more doing the work for the athletes. I truly believe that athletes need to be the front runner, and it's easy when you're in the consultancy space to take somebody on, especially if they want to pay more money, and to say, I want you to do the process for my son or daughter. But the reality is that I've noticed through my own experience that the athletes that don't take charge of their process end up either having a bad experience or transfer out. It's because you're going to college and you're the one that's on the team. You're the one who should get to know the coach. I mean, the parents, the person helping you should be supporting you and quote unquote, like coaching you the way coaches do in development. They don't go out and play the match for you. So why are we taking the biggest decision you're going to make in your life at this time, prior to maybe getting married and some other big decisions that you'll have later on in life? You're taking the biggest decision that will impact the rest of your life, and you're trying to put it in somebody else's hands only because you don't want to spend the time doing it. Well, that's why ImRecruitable is, I've created this platform the way LinkedIn's been created. Again, I'm referring to it because I want people to really, in their mind embed how you can take a product that gives you productivity and efficiency at a cost-effective level, so you don't have any reason not to do it yourself, and then get the coaching along the way. So the consultancy that I'll offer is coaching them, consulting them on what they need to do, and helping them understand recruitment so they can go off and put the practice into play.
Is it any wonder I'm working with this guy?
Yeah,
our philosophies are very much matched.
Very simpatico. Tarek, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience and our community that we haven't touched on so far?
I just think that I would like parents to take the recruitment process seriously in terms of what their child needs to do, and be their cheerleader and really help them along the way, because you are dealing with, a young adolescent. Some players are more mature than others. And I urge athletes to really get serious. Last night, there's a kid that I know, I just gave him a little pep talk. And I think that they need that. They need to understand that this is important. It's like going to school. If you really want to pass the grade, if you really want to play college tennis and you're serious about it, then you need to take action. And I believe that, we're too passive about it, and we wait too long. And next thing you know, junior and senior year comes up, and, because we have technologies that can help simplify it, doesn't mean that you wait on it. It's the opposite. The more technology we have, the more prepared you have to be, because the competition grows. So like we talked about earlier, 8th and 9th graders, you can't give me the excuse, or yourself the excuse that, I'm not sure if my daughter wants to play competitively or not. You have to just pretend like they're going to want to play in college, because you can't start when you're ready to start. You got to start when the process actually starts. So if you decide to start in 8th and 9th grade and doing the research, but then 2 years down the road, your daughter or son doesn't want to play, or you as the athlete don't want to play, that's fine. You haven't, what have you lost? A few hours here and there of doing it, right? That happens anyway. So if you don't start it, what is your advantage? It's zero. You have the biggest disadvantage now. And then you can't wonder why you didn't get the opportunities you should have gotten. And the other thing I'm going to say is keep an open mind. You don't understand that, everybody wants to go to the brand name schools. Who doesn't? You can ask me right now, where would I want to go now? It'll be different than where I ended up in, from the start, but not everyone gets there, and it's not always a good fit for everyone. So having an open mind of the types of schools you should be looking at, and also being open with recruitment. Probably the biggest pet peeve I have with recruitment is when someone asks me about something, or I talk about something, it's like, oh, I'm on tennis recruiting. It's like, yeah, but where's the rest of your stuff? Why are you not on every other platform? Why are you not doing everything else? Or I'm working with so-and-so. That's probably my biggest thing. Doesn't matter if someone's helping you with the process, your coach, a friend, a recruiting person. You can't, again, leave it in their hands, because you have to be everywhere coaches are. So keep all your options open, work with everybody you can, make the most of this opportunity, because it's such a big decision, and it is going to be such a great experience. I'm in this business for one reason only. It's because I never wanted to leave. I have nothing but the greatest memories. Sure, there was ups and downs, just like anything in life, but I had the best time of my life, and I wish I could do it forever. It's priceless, and it really makes you the person you are, and it's why you and I, the two of you guys and I, are here. We're passionate about sports, and we're passionate about our experiences, and you don't want that to become something you regret down the road.
And
Absolutely.
we're going to have to wrap up, but if I can ask you real quick, we've been talking about tennis, but I know a lot of parents have kids who play multiple sports. Is your platform tennis agnostic, or is it, if your kid plays soccer and other basketball, is there also an opportunity for those players to get in front of coaches?
All sports. I was a multi-sport athlete growing up. I happened to just play tennis, at the next level, but I am extremely passionate, so is ImRecruitable, about all sports. It's not a tennis platform, it's a sports platform.
Cool. Well, there's the information, ImRecruitable.com. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Great. It's been great chatting with you, Tarek. And I don't want to close the show without mentioning that Tarek and I are working on a video series that we're going to launch on parentingaces.com and probably on recruitable.com as well, coming in the next several weeks, but it's a work in progress right now, and it's going to be the truth in recruiting. Tarek and I are both very committed to this notion of making sure that both student athletes and parents understand what really happens during the recruiting process and what really happens once you get on campus. So that's a project that's in the works for us. But Tarek, thanks so much for taking time this morning to join Duey and me. And it's been great chatting with you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it so much. Appreciate what you guys are doing for everybody. And it's great.
Yeah, thank you. And for everyone tuning in, next week we will have as our guest Alex Johansson of Tennis Techie. If in the interim you're looking to contact either Lisa or I, you can reach Lisa at parentingaces.com, or you can reach me at deweyevans@gmail.com. We will be back next week with Alex Johansson with some interesting tech that making tennis fun. They're bringing a lot of fun to tennis, and I'm looking forward to that discussion then.
Me too. Duey, thanks. It's been great as always. Have a great week. And to all of you watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week on Tennis Takeaways with Lisa and Duey.